I was not connected to my Wi-Fi. And so I was just running off of my 5G. And so apparently that wasn't a good enough connection to run the live video. So that explains why I kept getting knocked off of Facebook Live and y'all were seeing me pixelated. So let me know if you see everything plain now and clear. Yeah, okay, great. I'm actually on my Wi-Fi. I was not on my Wi-Fi earlier. I don't know how that happened. And I was like, I have high-speed internet. Why is this saying? Because when I was on Facebook, it kept kicking me off and was saying slow connection. And I'm like, but why? But anyway, here's my babies. Maybe everybody will find their way back that was here before. So I had to restart my router because it was saying connected without internet. So what had happened was my phone was just connected to my 5G because I've got it set to do that if the Wi-Fi is not working, it'll go to the 5G. Hi, Carol's cuties. How are you? Hello, All Dolls Playground Nursery. How are you doing? Good to meet you, Robin. I'm so glad y'all are here. My last video, I couldn't figure out what was going on and nobody could see it. It was very pixelated and it was because, for whatever reason, my Wi-Fi had messed up and I had to restart my router. And then my phone was connected to 5G, so it was like all blurry and everything. Hi, Whimsical Dreams. Yes, I am actually connected to my Wi-Fi now. My Wi-Fi had to be restarted. So that's what the issue was the whole time. I was actually just running off of my phone's internet. So apparently that wasn't a strong enough signal. Thank you. Thank you, Carol. I changed them in the first live that I did that was so pixelated and blurry. So I actually have a video uploading with them changed into their pajamas of the night. And then they still had their pajamas on because it was like a pre-recorded video. And then I decided to change them into like their regular clothes. And I was like, let's just chat. Let's have a topic. So these are both my Natalie Scholl babies. The girl is Everleigh Gwen. And I have named her Stellynn Alexandra. And then the boy is Jayden Awake. And he's the prototype. And I named him Japheth Reed. And so both of these babies were sculpted by Natalie Scholl. I love Japheth's little brow, how he's got that little furrowed baby brow when they're concentrating on something. A lot of times he looks grumpy, but he's not really grumpy. He's just got that newborn scrunchy face look. So both of them have on newborn size little outfits. But Stellyn's little shirt is big for a newborn. And I'm surprised because it's Gerber. And usually Gerber stuff runs smaller, like much smaller. So I was actually surprised that her shirt looks so big. That's what someone else said. They were like, oh, that would be cute little twins. They do have the same sculptor, though. So it's like whenever dolls have the same sculptor like that, you can really tell, like, just like reborning artists, their work has its own signature. I feel like sculpting artists are the same way. Like their work has its own signature. Like, you know, by looking at a baby that, you know, so and so sculpted that. Like I can look at these two and say, Natalie Scholl sculpted these babies. And I love the way she does hands, like her hands and feet Natalie Scholl does the cutest baby feet. Like, I just love how she does hands and feet, which the whole sculpt is cute. But their head shapes are like realistic. Like, I just like the way she does it. Like her little toes, all of them are separate on both feet, and I love that. You don't hardly see that, but they're all stretched out and separate. And then his big toe is separate on this foot, but it's not on his other foot. All of the rest of them are connected. But you can tell they've got different matting because he was made in 2019. He is about to be 6 years old, honestly, and he looks in perfect shape. Like, he's in perfect condition. Thank you, Carol. I love it when their toes are separate like that. I just love that. But you can see the difference in their matting. I guarantee you he was done in Genesis heat set, the old formula, and she's done in some type of heat set paint. I just don't know which. But you can tell that they have a different type of matting. Like, her matting is more silky looking because in certain light she looks a little more shiny, and he's very, very matte. But it's hard to get your hands on the old-fashioned Genesis heat set matte varnish. Very hard these days because they don't make it anymore, the old formula. Tanya said back when we could get the good matte. Yeah, like you can tell the difference. Like, I know that Genesis has a new formula out, and then there's also other types of heat set paints and matte varnishes, but none of them compare to this. Like, just none of them do. And he has his skin is textured too. Like, in certain lighting, you can see that he has, like, our skin has the little texture to it. His has that too. But he also feels different. Like, she's super smooth and he's not. Like, he feels a little rough. BC is the closest as far as heat set paint. Yeah, I have to say that because I had some BC heat set paint. And then I ended up, I sold my oven and all of my paints to my friend Christy. And I don't know if she's used any of it yet or not, but y'all know, she's been fighting cancer and stuff. So I'm sure painting a doll is the last thing on her mind right now. I mean, we had a fun Dolly day the other day, but like I said, I'm sure that's the last thing she's thinking about right now. So she'll probably use it sooner or later. But I was telling my sis Tanya on the phone the other day, because Tanya and I talk on the phone like all the time. But I was telling her that I wanted to get all of the ingredients to paint silicone. And I'm going to try my hand at that and see how I do. I mean, you don't know until you try. Because I used to say, oh my gosh, I could never root a head. That's too hard. But now that I've rooted, I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I've also painted dolls, like vinyl dolls. And I'm like, well, I know it's a completely different medium. But why not give it a try? But the gel air dry gives good texture. Yeah, I've heard someone else talk about the gel air dry. I just don't know why they had to change it. Like, why did they have to change the Genesis? Does anybody know the story behind that? Like, it was like all of a sudden you couldn't get Genesis anymore. And then there was a time when everybody was like hoarding all the Genesis stuff. They were buying it up if they saw it because they didn't know when they were going to get any more. And for some reason, the formula had to change. But I don't know the story behind that, and I don't know if anybody else does either. Tanya uses both. So you use them both, like use one and then use one over the other, or you just play it by ear and see which one you want to use at a time. Tanya says there is an ingredient in the old formula wasn't made anymore due to COVID. Yeah, no, but why did they not make it anymore? That's what I'm saying. Like, what stopped it? Why did COVID stop that ingredient from being made? Heat set first. Okay. And then you put the gel air dry on top. Well, that sounds like it would work. I just love these two, y'all. I didn't know, like for the longest time, all I wanted was big babies. Like when I was collecting reborns before, and I wanted the big ones. And I wasn't too much into the little babies. And now I'm like, why wasn't I? Because I love the little babies. And I do tend to be more drawn to awake babies than asleep babies. How about y'all? But this asleep baby, I love her very much. Like the fact that she's asleep is like, it was her selling point to me because she looked so peaceful. And I love that she had a different face. Because when Natalie sculpted her, she did the little lip that sticks out. The real Everleigh Gwen, she sculpted her after a real baby. And the real Everleigh Gwen would stick her lip out like that all the time. She would suck her top lip under and poke her bottom lip out. And so they took a picture of her. You can come on in, my honey. I'm on live, but my honey's home.
Hey!
Carol said, I like all the sizes. That's the problem. Well, me too. I mean, my big dolls though, I have the masterpiece dolls because they are like way less expensive than a reborn child. And they give you all of the funness. Is that a word? But we're going to make it a word. They give you all the funness of the child size reborns without the cost. And also they can stand up on their own. I mean, they do have joints. So, you know, some people don't like the joints. They can't look past the joints. To me, the joints are not a problem. He's on one in there now. Tanya said, hey, Polly. But a lot of people don't like the joints and they can't get past the joints, but I don't mind them at all. I would rather have a doll that could stand on its own and have the joints in their elbows and knees than have to worry about covering up the half cloth leg with like a longer dress or knee pants or, you know, whatever in the summertime. Like my masterpiece dolls, I don't even worry about it. Like the joints don't bother me at all. I buy them all these cute little short sets and spaghetti strap tops and, you know, and all that. It doesn't even matter to me. Hey, Dottie, how are you? I'm doing good. Now that I figured out my problem, I couldn't understand why. I started out on Facebook with my live and I started changing these two. They were in their pajamas of the night, which, by the way, that video is going up on my channel. It should be on just any time now. But I had pre-recorded it, and because I schedule my updates. So I'll do like a few videos. Sometimes I'll do 2 or 3 videos in one day, or I'll do like a weekend of videos and then schedule them, you know, throughout the week. So I had that video going up tonight, but I was just like wanting to chit chat with some people. So I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and change them, even though their video of them getting their pajamas is not even uploaded yet. So, or not scheduled to air yet. It's uploaded. But I just wanted to come on and chat. Carol says the masterpiece are fun. They are. They're so fun. Like they're so versatile, and I don't worry as much about scratching them or anything. I mean, I'm careful with them. Don't get me wrong, but they don't have paint like reborns do. So it's kind of like you don't have to worry as much. Now they can crack. You do have to be careful. Like I'm very careful about not leaving them standing up with me not right there. I don't even. Some people stand theirs on the stands that goes around their waist. I don't even do that. I just sit mine somewhere because I'm always afraid they're going to fall over. And if they fall from a standing position, there was one lady in one of the masterpiece groups, her doll cracked. Like it literally cracked across its forehead. I mean, like a huge crack. And I'm like, oh, wow, how would you even fix that? Oh, yeah. Tanya has a 2 year old size masterpiece doll that she's going to have for sale. Y'all know my Bella Catherine? I should get my husband to go get her. I think he's in the bathroom. But she's got a doll. She's just like mine, the same sculpt and everything, and blonde hair just like mine. But she's 2 year old size, and she's gonna have her for sale. Dottie, you are girl. Talk to me. Yes, and you will love her. Now she doesn't have the elbow joints, but she has knee joints, and she's easy to pose though. Tanya says I bought too many too fast. I do that too on stuff. It's like if I discover a new kind of doll, I'm just like, oh my gosh, gimme, 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 I gotta have. And then the next thing you know, you've got like tons of this certain kind of doll, and you're like, what am I gonna do with all these? But I'm happy with all that I have right now. Like, I've got my little doll families going. Like Stellyn is Bella Catherine's baby sister. And I think they look really good as like a big sister, a little sister. And Japheth, I've been throwing around the idea with him of letting him be the baby brother to Carolina Moon and Sabrina. Because Carolina Moon is like 4, and then you've got Sabrina who's 2. And so, that would have the kids being spaced like 2 years out. And so, and him being a newborn. So, Carol said, I have so many dolls in my nursery and I don't have room for them, but I don't want to get rid of any. I used to be like that at one time. And for me, this is a lot of dolls. I had 13 reborns at one time. And I had so many, I ended up gravitating toward 2 or 3 anyways, all the time. And so after that, after I realized what I was doing, I'm like, I'm going to really concentrate on a few dolls at a time. And then if I ever get to where I'm not interested in those dolls or whatever, then I'll move them on, sell them and bring fresh new faces into the nursery. And that's been working for me, which these I will be holding on to these for a really long time. Like even if it got to the point where I hardly showed them, like, which I love them. But even if years went by and I didn't show them as much, I feel like they would be babies that I would hold on to and like maybe display them something in like a display case or something like that. Like because I mean, yeah, I don't see myself getting rid of them. But I mean, we say that all the time. We've said that about dolls all the time. I've said it about other dolls, and then I would shock people when I would sell them. Dottie says, I have a few babies like that. Yeah, and like I mean, and if you do, and even if you do say that, let's say you do say that you're going to keep this doll and you're not going to get rid of it, and you do keep it for a few years, and then you, after a few years, you decide you're going to sell it. That's fine too. You know, people grow and evolve in their collecting, and so they don't keep every doll all the time. You know, and some people do. Some people have their very first reborn. Nikki from All About Nikki's Dolls, she has never sold a single one of her dolls. She has every one of her dolls that she has bought since, I want to say she got into the hobby in 2016 or 17. And she still has every doll. Can y'all hear my dog snoring? He does that in my, when I make a video, he'll be over to the side, and it's like when I make a video, it just relaxes him. Dottie says, I am on a silicone kick again, so I got to get a money tree and quick. Right? Yeah, where's that money tree? If you find one, you be sure and let your girl know, because I need a money tree too. Let's scoot y'all down a little bit where I can see the words better. Yep, Zeke is always snoring. Somebody commented, was that you, Carol? Somebody commented on one of my recent videos and said, I hear your dog snoring. Or they said, who's that snoring? Somebody's sleeping in the background or something. I'm like, oh, that would be my dog. He sounds like a grown man when he snores. He sounds like a grown man when he passes gas. And sometimes when he burps. Like you would think a person did it. And it's him.
We'll get back at it.
Okay. My honey's working on his truck. He's going to Miami in a couple of weeks.
A week,
Well,
actually.
A week and a half. Week and 4 days, I guess.
Week and 2 days, actually.
Oh, week and 2 days, yeah. I had my
Next
math
Friday.
backwards.
Yeah. Who'd you say somebody said hi, Polly, a while ago?
Tanya.
Oh, hey, Tanya.
She said, sure, Polly, blame the dog.
Blame the dog for what?
I was talking about him when he snores, that he sounds like a person, and I said he can even pass gas like a person and burp like a person. She was joking and saying it was really you, and I was saying it was the dog.
It'd be Pennye before it'd be me.
Y'all, I can bring the walls down with my snoring.
Love, love, love.
Love, love, love. But yeah, I'm just happy to be back into the babies again because for a while I was just I don't know. Like I guess you just go through a hobby ebb and flow or whatever. And so I tell people, they're like, "Oh, I'm so glad you decided to come back and start collecting reborns." And I'm like, I just needed a reset apparently. And sometimes you just need a reset. Dottie said I went off that deep end with rainbow high dolls. I did look at some of those and I never did get any. I'm glad I didn't because I probably would have done the same thing because when you can just walk into like Walmart or something and buy a doll. I have like 7 Blythe dolls right now. And you know what I was doing? I was looking at Blythe dolls again last night. I'm like, what are you doing, Pennye? You're not even doing anything with the dolls you have. You need to do something with them. So instead of looking at more dolls, I need to look at clothes and stuff like that. And Sandra did send me some clothes. I need to do a video with my Blythe dolls and my OB11 dolls. But I'm disappointed because some of the OB11 outfits that I got off of AliExpress, the outfits fit, but the hats are really tight on their head. Like this one really cute frog outfit, the frog hat, I went to go put it on her head and I was like, this won't even fit. It's so small. So it kind of sucks because their outfits are super cute on there. So I guess I'm just going to have to kind of stay away from the outfits with hats. I love Blythe too because they're just so whimsical. Like the big head and the big eyes and change their eye direction and color. I like that too. There goes Zeke snoring again. I love looking at these two and like their differences, like their how their artists painted them differently. And it's just like with Stellyn, she's painted more red, like she has more red tones. I feel like her complexion is more like red newborn. And even though he wears a newborn size, like I feel like that he is more like painted more like an older, like 3 to 4 week old, who's had time for their complexion to clear up and all that. And just the difference in their styles, like the painting styles of each artist. Like Japheth's artist is like more subtle with like her coloring and stuff. And Stellyn's, I should have turned my notifications off. I'm sorry. Y'all gonna be hearing all kinds of stuff during this live. But and then Stellyn's artist is more bold, I guess you could say, with like her undertones and her coloring and all that. But both are beautifully done. Dottie said, I want one, but a custom one. They are real expensive. I think Stephen might freak about the price of a Blythe doll than a Reborn. And then Carol said, I'm riding in the car now, so spotty Wi-Fi. That's okay. Tanya said, I got one Blythe at the art doll show for a good price. You can find them for really good prices, and especially if you buy secondhand. If you'll join some of the Blythe groups, Dottie, sometimes you can find secondhand Blythe dolls for like way cheaper than you can get a Reborn. So try that, because I mean, also as far as Blythe collectors go, it's not like it is with Reborns, which with Reborns and the whole I don't want to get into the replica debate because I don't even like talking about that. But like with these, a sculptor is sculpting them from clay, and I can see the point, and and they're putting their work out there. But I do like that these two sculpts, their artist has them copyrighted, like with a copyright, and not just like the automatic one, but it's one that she got individually for each sculpt. So there are no copies of these two. And if someone tries to copy them, then all she has to do is present her certificate and they'll take it down immediately. And it's been working so far because they haven't had to take anybody to court. They just show their document and they make them take it down and they can't reproduce them. Yes, it is so overdone. It is so overdone. But with the Blythe, I said all that to say this. With the Blythe, I mean, I understand that they do have designers and all that, but it's a plastic faceplate. And so not even the Blythe people care. Like the Blythe community, I mean, you do have some people that say, I only want to collect stock Blythe. You do have those. And then you have people that say, I only like the custom ones. Well, you know where your custom ones are going to come from? Most of the time, not always, but most of the time, the base dolls are going to come from the Blythes that you get off AliExpress. And they'll buy the little cheap ones that are, don't even have outfits or anything with them. And then an artist will customize them and make them beautiful. Like they will just be these beautiful works of art. And so they actually encourage that because they want people to leave the stock Blythe original so that they don't lose their collectible value, because if you change it too much, if you change the stock Blythe too much, it's hard to recognize it. And so there are people who do customize stock Blythes, but they are really careful about how much they change it, if that makes sense. So they would rather you customize they call them the fakies. They'll literally say, this is a fake Blythe, this is a fakie, or they'll call them a factory Blythe. They would actually prefer that you do that. And then when they have like BlytheCon and stuff, you can bring your fake Blythe in there just like you can your stock Blythe. Like they, it's not as big a deal with them. But like I said, with the whole replica debate and everything, I get it. I understand. And, I do collect authentic. I have authentic dolls. But y'all all know that I don't go and chastise people who have replicas. I just don't do that. And, and I will never do that. AliExpress, I might try that for my second one. We shall see. I want an Alice in Wonderland one, I think. Yeah, and from what I understand, like once you learn how to carve their faces and stuff, like that's why I haven't tried that, because I have no experience with like carving or sculpting or anything. So when you take a Blythe faceplate and you carve it and sculpt it, you got to know what you're doing or you're going to mess it up. And I understand that, when you're getting one off of AliExpress or whatever, it's just, some of them, when you get the ones with no clothes or whatever, where it's just the bare base doll, they're not very expensive, like $20. I understand it's not like you're messing up a bunch of money, but at the same time, I'm like, do I want to carve that? Because I see some of them, they have their faces carved with open mouths and teeth, and they'll sculpt things out of clay to make their eye shape look different and make their mouth shape look different. And I do not know how to do all that. So, I know I could play around with it, but still. But yeah, you can do that, and you can dress it up however you want. Do Alice in Wonderland, or I've seen some adorable alien Blythes. Speaking of which, I'm going to walk in here. Let me step over. This is the dog that was snoring. I'm going to walk in here to where my Blythes are. But these are my ballerinas. I don't show them attention either. And see, she's a custom one, so she's got mohair and everything. But they don't come like this. Like, she's been repainted to look realistic. When you get them from Ballerina, this is what they look like. Like, this one has not been customized, and she's got, synthetic hair, and it's like rooted, and her eyes are very doll-like. Like, she's very doll-like compared to her. Like, she's got glass eyes, and, her face has been painted to look realistic. And she has a mohair wig on her head. But these are my Blythes. And all of them are customized except for her. Well, she's kind of customized. She came from AliExpress, so she wasn't done by like an artist. But see, you could take her and like really, really customize her and make her look really awesome. Like, she's pretty like she is. But her face is kind of plain Jane. And then, but you look at these, and like they have their lips carved a certain way. And they have their realistic eye chips. So they're just more realistic. And then here's my little OB11 girls. And Judy Wang is doing a new size, a Q baby size. These are 1/12. So she's doing one that's 1/8. So it's like just under 1/6. They're so cute. Look at them. So they're like bigger than these. When you stand these up in your hand. And like the 1/8 ones have like a bigger, chunkier build, like a bigger head, and they're taller. So I've been looking at some of Judy's dolls and I'm like I need one of those. But she has this cute little boy one. And I'm like, well, it would look cute. Could be a big brother to all the little girls that I have. And then down there's my Wizard of Oz dolls that I just got. Oh, poor Toto. He's just hanging by a thread. But yeah, and then that bottom shelf that's empty, I'm going to be putting Labubus in there as I collect them. Because I do wear them on my bag, but I don't think I'm going to be that person that has like 25,000 Labubus hanging off their bag. I think I want to do it like a Labubu at a time. But I'm walking you into my doll room now, which also doubles as my grandson's playroom. But there's my biggest girl, and she's holding, I forgot what Posy. And she's like a 1950s doll. But Dottie, this is the Pennye sculpt, and that's the one that Tanya has for sale. It's just like mine. She looks exactly the same. But mine's name is Bella Catherine. But they wear 24 months to 2T. They're so fun. And then over here, that's Sabrina. They're about the same size. She's an inch shorter, but she has elbow joints and knee joints, whereas Bella Catherine just has the knee joints. Love her. Sorry, I had to take care of adult children problems real quick. Girl, go out there and get you a switch. Yeah, I'm not so sure about carving because I know nothing about it. You know, I mean, you got to kind of have some knowledge about carving and using sculpting tools and stuff, and I do not. So there's that. But let's go back in here. You're just traipsing through the house with me. At least I just swept and mopped and stuff yesterday. Yes, Sabrina and Peyton look very similar. Tanya has a little one named Peyton. What is her sculpt name again? Rory? And Rory and my Sabrina, they have the same body, just a different head. Yeah. Mine is Sky by Monica Levenegg, and hers is Rory. So, but yeah, they have the same body, but just a different head, and they pose so easily. The Pennye sculpt is a little harder to pose, I feel like, but she's chunkier too. But I feel like her movements are a little stiffer. I mean, you can pose her just fine, but it's easier to move Sabrina's legs and arms than it is for Pennye's or Bella Catherine. And then same thing with my big girl, the 4-year-old size. She's the Annika sculpt. I named her Carolina Moon, but she is a dream to pose. Like, she is so easy to pose. Like, you can just move her any way you want her to be with no problem. So I really like that about her. But yeah, y'all, not this coming up weekend, but next weekend, I'm going to go visit Tanya. My husband and his cousin are going to go to Miami and go see a Dolphins game. So I'm going to have a girls' weekend with my Dolly bestie, Tanya. So we're just going to have a good time. We don't know. We're going to make plans. We don't know what we're going to do yet, but we know it's going to involve dolls. Hey, Gigi Mamel. How are you doing? Tanya said, yes, Sharia is easy too. I guess the bigger they are, the easier they are to pose. Maybe it's like other things, like the smaller something is. Well, that's not true because, I just got done saying that Sabrina is a lot easier to pose. I was going to say, like, sometimes when things are smaller, it's more compact, so they're harder to move. I don't know. I don't know what it is about the Pennye sculpt. And she's Monica Peterlight, right? Maybe that could be it. Maybe they designed their joints differently. I don't know. Dottie said, I used to have a Sky, but when I got her, her fingers were broken and her eye was cracked. Oh, no. I'm glad you're doing good, Gigi Mamel. Tanya said, I think our pennies were just in a box for so long. Well, I know, but so was my others. I mean, Sky was old but new in the box too. And she was from around the same year, and so was Annika. Like, both of them still had the paper on them. They were still in the box. I don't know. Dottie says, cool, we need to do a meetup. Yeah, we do need to do a meetup. I haven't seen you in a long time, Dottie. Zeke is in there drinking water. And Tanya said, come on, girl. Yeah, I mean, we can be having some fun. I'm going to bring these two, and I'm going to bring Carolina Moon, because I'm so bad about when I leave the house and I go with Dolly friends, I want to take like all the dolls that I've ever owned. And I'm like, nope, I can't do that. But I'm going to take dolls that I know Tanya hasn't seen in person. So I'm taking these two, and then I'm taking Annika because, well, she has Rory, like I said, who has the same body as the Sky sculpt that I have. So that's why I'm not taking her. And then she has Pennye, the Pennye sculpt, which I also have. So that's why I'm not taking her. So yeah, I'm going to take these two and Carolina Moon. Wait for it, burp. Yeah, right. He will do. Oh, thank you. Gigi Ma said, you have absolutely beautiful babies. Thank you so much. These are my itty bitties. These are my newborns. And then I had a reborn baby gifted to me. And he's more like 0 to 3, maybe 3 months. But I'm going to change his body out. I did a video with him. I do not like the body that baby is on. I don't know if it's the one that came with that sculpt. He's the Archie sculpt. I don't know if it came with that sculpt or if the artist just put him on that body. I have no clue. But it doesn't have a gathered chest. And I like bodies with gathered chest. And I also think he would do better on a body that's got the tapered sides. So I'm going to order one from McPherson's and just put him on a different body and see what that does for him. Because I did take some stuffing out and that helped him a lot. But I still feel like he just needs something different. Like there's something about that body that doesn't visually go with his head size. And you can't really see it on camera. It's weird because when I show him on camera, he looks proportionate, but when you look at him in person, he is not. But yeah, I was talking last night with Tanya, and also I put up a post and was asking, I have noticed and have y'all been having this trouble? It's like views are just have plummeted. And a few people commented on my wall post and they were like, yeah, it's the algorithm, it's things going on with the algorithm or whatever. Because I was just like, am I not reaching the right audience? Like, are you not in tune with what I'm doing? What would you like to see? Because of course, I mean, I do my channel for myself and having fun for myself, but I also want to have fun and entertain my followers. So, I want to do things that I know what y'all would like to see. I do plan on doing some more outings. I know a lot of people like to see reborn baby outings. Some people don't like reborn baby outings. I'm that person. I just love it all. Like I like to do the changing videos. I like to take the babies out. I do like to do role plays. I don't do as much of them recently as I used to. Like I used to do like 2 or 3 role plays a month and then like throw some changing videos and stuff in there. And I still love the role play videos. I don't know why I don't do them as much anymore. I don't know. Yes, we do. Tanya said Penny and I take ours everywhere. I take babies out. Sometimes I'll take a baby out and not even record it. Like I'll take a baby out to just maybe take a couple of pictures or to show them to somebody or something. Gigi Ma said, I'm so afraid to take my authentic babies out. They cost so much. And I just don't want them messed up. I know what you mean. Views have been down for everyone. I feel like YouTube's not recommending us or something. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know why, because I mean, I understand that we're a very niche hobby. I get that. But at the same time, there's people that are entertained with our videos. And sometimes we will bring people into the hobby who weren't in it. So anyways, it's kind of like, it's kind of like one of those deals where you're like, okay, where is everybody? Did I do something wrong? And then at the same time, you're like, well, it's probably just the algorithm. And pretty much that's what everyone's told me. They're like, yeah, my views are down too. And I think it's just the algorithm. And I have noticed that I've had to go looking for people. Like I'll be like, I haven't seen so-and-so a video from them in a while. And I'll go look on their channel and I'll be like, well, golly, there's like 5 new videos here. Why have I not got notified? And then there's been a few times that I've done that and it would say I needed to subscribe. And I had not unsubscribed to that person. Have y'all had any trouble with that? Like you go to a person's video and you're like, what the heck? Why does it say subscribe? I'm already subscribed. So I've had to resubscribe to some people in the past. That hadn't happened in a while, but it happened a couple of months ago. And I actually made a shorts video and I'm like, if you see me subscribing to you or or whatever, just know that I didn't unsubscribe. I just went to your channel and it said I was unsubscribed. I didn't do it. And then other people were like, yes, that's happened to me. And I've had people come on my channel and say, I had to resubscribe to your channel. So I don't know what's up with that either, unless it's some kind of glitch. Dottie says, I'm back again. Did you get a switch? You should have. Tanya said, YouTube is so stupid, drives me crazy. Me too. I took Adelaide to the Bigfoot Museum this past weekend. Are you talking about taking them out? You don't even record? It's just fun sometimes. Like, I don't do it as much as I used to before my grandbaby was born. Most of the time, if I'm going somewhere and I'm taking a baby, it's him. But I still do occasionally. Like if I know I'm just going to run up to the store or whatever, and I'll just grab a baby. I don't know. But most of the time, when I do take a doll out, it's for entertainment reasons. Like it's because I want to do a video or something. And I think that confuses a lot of people. Like they think that we're taking them out because we think they need to be treated like a real baby. And we're taking them out just because we want to enjoy them. Not because we think they're real and they have to be supervised. But I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, Gigi Mom, about, not wanting to take your authentic reborns out because you worry about something happening. But at the same time, you want to be able to enjoy your hobby because that's what you have it for. Because, like, he is my first prototype baby. But you better believe I'm going to be taking him out. And somebody else. And I realize that he is almost 6 years old and he is in pristine condition. But even though I take my babies out, I still take good care of them. So, I mean, you can take your baby out and still take good care of it and not worry about something happening to it. And oh my goodness, speaking of which, something happening to a baby. How would y'all feel if this happened to you? Yeah, baby sling. Those are great, especially for newborns. But I was watching Tori's Reborn Babies, and she did a video where she took one of her babies in Walmart, and somebody came up to it and slapped it 3 times in the face. And I was like, first of all, what if that had not been a doll and they walked up and smacked somebody's real baby in the head? I'm sorry, but my instinct probably would have taken over and I probably would have smacked them back. You know what I mean? Like, who does that? Who does that? Like, as realistic as these dolls look, how would you not know that wasn't a real baby? Like, why would you even think that's okay, even if you do think it's a doll? That's somebody's property. It'd be the same as if someone walked up to me and took a Sharpie and wrote all over my purse. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have feelings. It's an inanimate object, but it's still my purse. You defaced my property. You know what I mean? Like, I realize that these are not real babies. They are objects. But how could you do that and not, I mean, how? And what if it was a real baby? What if it was not a reborn? And this arrogant person who just who did it out of spite to make fun, that's what they did it for. Why would you even think that's okay? I would have been peed off too. I try really hard to be nice, but yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to be mean to somebody. And to me, that's somebody going out of their way to be mean. Because even if it is a reborn, and it's a reborn, which, like I said, how would they know that? How would they be confident enough to know that that wasn't a real baby, that they could just go up and smack it like that? And so I was just like, you have got to be kidding me. They literally smacked your doll. And I mean, first and foremost, that's your property. And I don't know. I mean, if somebody, get this, if somebody spits at you, it doesn't hurt you, but it's still considered assault. So I'm just wondering if somebody comes up and assaults your property like that in front of you, can you get them for assault? Can you call the police? Because I probably would have gotten the police involved somehow. Reborn assault, exactly, destruction of personal property. I mean, it has to fall under that. It has to. And like I said, what sick person would take that chance to smack what they thought was a doll? And what if it wasn't? Like I said, like I said, I don't know. My instincts would have just taken over, and I probably would have reacted in the not so good way. Gigi Mom said, well, that person would have been in jail if not 6 feet under. And you could say they thought it was a real baby, sickos. Right. I mean, if I had my babies out somewhere and somebody come up and smack them, it would be a big deal. I understand they don't have feelings, but they are art. So, why would you do? I mean, you wouldn't get by with doing that to anything else. So why would they think that was okay? I would have made, I'm telling you, I would have had to change my name to Petty Pennye because I would have just threw a fit right there in the middle of Walmart, and I would have called the police. I would have called security. I mean, it would have been a big deal. And I wouldn't have let that person leave out of the store. If I'd have had to, if they decided to walk away from me, I would have followed them through the store and called the police and called security. Because it's on camera. There's cameras everywhere in Walmart. So they would see that this person just walked up and smacked, like how, that's what I'm saying. How would you not know for sure? Like, why would you take that chance? Like, well, I know that's a reborn. I'm just going to go smack it. You know what I mean? Like, I just said, like my granny would say, we would be having a come to Jesus meeting. Yes, we would. And Tanya said they are worth more than 500, so it would be more than small claims court for sure. Yes. Especially if it did some type of damage. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess they could be smacked around a little bit, but you know what I mean? Like, what would happen? I mean, if they damaged the paint, or I mean, I guess at the most, it depends on how hard it got hit. I mean, this person hit it with their hand, like they smacked it with an open hand. So, but I mean, they can be damaged. So, yeah, it can most definitely be small claims court. And Gigi Mamel said, amen. I'm telling you, yeah, it would make me feel some type of way. Like I said, I would make a huge deal. And I'm that person that usually, I'm an Aquarius and I'm a very logical thinking person. So normally, like petty stuff like that, I would be like, what's your problem? But it's the principle behind it, and it's the fact that this arrogant person thought it was okay to come up and smack that reborn. What if they saw another person out with a real baby and thought, well, there's one of those reborns again, and went up and smacked that baby? Like, they need to be taught a lesson. You don't do that. And I would be that person to teach that lesson, because I would definitely, like I said, I would be calling the police. I'd be getting Walmart security. Like, it would be a big deal. It would be a big deal. I'd probably be on the news that night or something. Gigi Mamel said, no, they can't scratch the paint just a little. And Tony said, keep your hands to yourself. Right. Like, I would never walk up to someone's cart in a store and put my hands in their cart, much less smack something in it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What's that off of? No regrets. Meet the Millers. They look so cute. I like that she's asleep and he's awake because it's like you always, when you have like more than one baby, there's always going to be one that's awake while everybody else is asleep. I used to work in daycare. It was always like that. I'm like, can we all just take a nap? No, we can't. I might have to dress him up real cute to go to Aunt T's house. I have to dress Stellyn up real cute. I'm sure it's still going to be hot, so I have to find him something real cute to wear. Oh no, y'all, my son is calling, so I'm going to have to end this and answer him. But it has been so good talking with y'all. And I'm trying to scoot him over so I can end this. But it's been so good talking with y'all, and I'll come back and do more lives. Thank you, Dottie. Yeah, I need to cook here in a little bit too. But yeah, I'll definitely do more lives and I'll schedule them. That way you'll have an idea of what time they'll be and all that. Bye, y'all. Hugs and love.